Hello, my name is Anna Page, and this is my presentation on Chapter 12, Quasi-Experimental Designs. Sometimes it is considered unacceptable or unethical to withhold treatment from clients within an agency to evaluate the quality and effectiveness of the program. While the best case scenario would allow us to use random assignment with a control and experimental group, it's not always possible. Quasi-experimental designs allow researchers to conduct research without the internal validity of random assignment, but Rubin and Babi say still provides more support for causal inferences than pre-experimental design. So our first type that Rubin and Babin identify as non-equivalent comparison group designs. These are used when researchers can find groups that appear to be comparable to the experimental groups in ways like size, age, socioeconomic status, ethnicity. While there is a high risk for selection bias, you can use pretest to check for equivalency in the dependent variable. For example, my single subject research design has to do with connection between eating before the normal eating hours, eating your dinner before the normal eating hours, and the cutoff time of 9 p.m., and the state of subsequent alertness the next morning. If you're doing this study in a nursing home, it might be distressing or upsetting to give the residents dinner at different times of the day. Making one group sit and wait while the other ones ate might be an ethical conflict. So to do a non-equivalent comparison group design, the researcher might find two different nursing homes that are very similar in terms of age, health, distribution of gender, etc. You could give dinner to one group at one time and one at the other, and then you could see if the time of dinner had a correlation to how alert the residents were in the morning. So our first symbol here is the typical post-test, pre-test design, where one control group is given the treatment or intervention and then given a post-test. To increase internal validity, you can have the second, which is here, and this is the multiple pre-tests given before the intervention is given. Then this way we can get a better sense of the mean pre-test scores and can confidently say that the groups are more similar and that our treatment is effective or not effective. Finally, we can use this, which is switch replication, by administering the treatment to the comparison group after the first post-test. So then we have time series designs. Simple time series designs use multiple pre-tests and post-tests and does not have a comparison group. This is simple interrupted time series design, right here, with multiple points of observation, and the more you have, the better. The second one is multiple time series designs. These are a stronger form of time series designs that have more internal validity. The most applicable one to us social workers is this, which is a time series design with non-equivalent comparison groups. Numerous pretests help establish a reliable baseline in route patterns and behavior or outcomes that are affected by a third factor like history, maturation, statistical regression, which can skew results. Cross-sectional studies examines a phenomenon by taking a cross-section or like a photo in time by a researcher. They can be exploratory, descriptive, like the U.S. Census, or explanatory in purpose. Cross-sectional studies are done like a snapshot. They aim to understand a phenomenon and causal relationships over time. They are done at only one point in time, which presents an issue with internal validity. They are more feasible in terms of time and money, and cross-sectional studies can discover trends over time despite problems with internal validity. Then we have case control studies. Case control studies compares groups of cases that have had different outcomes and examines the retrospective data to identify different factors that might explain the differences in outcomes. Case control studies allow us to use data from past experiences in exploratory fashion and generate hypotheses about specific interventions. They can be valuable in providing information to help design new studies and make suggestions about what types of interventions are most likely to be successful. They're susceptible to recall bias, where systematic error may be caused by differences in accuracy of recall by the study participants. This is a good option when it's not ethical to withhold treatment from a specific group, like victims of assault and trauma or abuse. In this chapter, Rubin and Babi also identify several pitfalls in the quasi-experimental design groups. The first is an intervention fidelity. This refers to if the intervention was actually delivered to the client as it was intended to be. Differences in skills and biases in judgment of the social work practitioners that are involved in the study may contribute to this. Additionally, there's a risk of contaminating the control condition when members of the control and experimental groups interact, when they're at the same school, community, or nursing home. You may also get resistance from practitioners who are being asked to assign treatment cases, so they may not adhere to the protocol they are given for your study. Finally, there is always the challenge of recruiting and retaining a viable number of study participants over time. So thank you for listening to my presentation, and have a good week.